It's past the hour of 11 o'clock on this 3rd of August, 2014. And you are listening to the Hubert Smith Radio Show on 90.3 The Rock. We are talking with as many candidates as we can to wrap up the Knox County general election and also the state primary, federal primary, and also we have this little thing called retention on the ballot. And it is indeed my honor to welcome the Honorable Sharon Lee, Associate Justice of the Tennessee Supreme Court. Justice Lee, good morning.
Well, good morning. It's good to be with you today.
Thank you. Glad to have you with us. This is a rather unusual occurrence in the fact that there's been so much hoopla, for lack of a better word, about it, Justice Lee. So I just want to offer you the opportunity to say what you want to say about the process and say what you want to say about retention.
Well, this is a very important election coming up this Thursday, and I encourage everyone to be sure and vote. What's at stake here is it's really our judicial system, whether we're going to continue to have fair and impartial courts or whether we're going to have courts that are partisan, filled with partisan politics. And I can tell you from my view, I want courts that are fair and impartial. I don't think politics has any place in the courtroom because when you have politics involved, the Constitution gets pushed out of the room, and we just cannot have that in Tennessee. We're better than that, and we deserve better.
Justice Lee, how long have you been on the bench? And if you wouldn't mind, give a little bit of your background to people. I'm sure there are a lot of our listening audience who are unfamiliar with your background in terms of the law.
Well, I grew up in Monroe County in Madisonville, where I still continue to live in Monroe County. I practiced law in my hometown of Madisonville for 26 years. I had a small town type of practice. And I think it's important that we have someone on the highest court with small town values and small town common sense. I did that for 26 years, and then I moved on to the Court of Appeals, where I was appointed by the governor, where I served 4 years. And then I was appointed to the Supreme Court. I was then elected in 2010, and I'm up for re-election here in 2014. So I've been a judge 10 years, and before that, 26 years as a lawyer, helping folks with their problems.
I will share with the audience, I had the pleasure of having a brief conversation with you after we both, among many thousands, attended Justice Scalia's lecture at the Cox Auditorium.
All right, that was a great lecture. He's very interesting.
Well, he is interesting and somewhat engaging.
Very much so.
And I guess what I'm leading to is that people aren't always as you see them in your official capacity. But there have been charges made, Justice Lee, against retaining you and Justice Clark and Chief Justice Wade that you are somehow liberal because you were appointed by a Democratic governor. Can you speak to that?
Well, yes, I'd be glad to. Apparently, the lieutenant governor of our state has pumped in over $425,000 to spread the message that we're liberal, that we're soft on crime, and that we're responsible for Obamacare. The truth is, my friends at home who know me know I'm not liberal. I grew up in a small town, live in a small town, drive a pickup truck. I've always been fair. So I think that charge is completely false. They say that we're soft on crime, yet we've been endorsed by the Fraternal Order of Police for the entire state. We've been endorsed by a number of district attorney generals, past and retired. And we've upheld nearly 90% of the death sentences that have come before us. So folks who know us and know our record, they know that's not true. They say that we're responsible for Obamacare. Well, everybody knows that's a federal law. And we deal with state issues. And we've never been even called on to rule on anything regarding the Health Care Act. But you see, those are sort of buzzwords that get people excited. So I think that's why they're throwing out making those charges, and they just really don't stick. Unfortunately, they're not true. And I think people see through that. I think they know better. In Tennessee, we're smart. We see through lies, and folks just know better.
Justice Lee, I think one of our producers, Zach Dean, had a question he wanted to ask you.
Okay.